Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joan Kandrak and Kelly Cole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hey everybody, this is Kelly, and thanks for tuning in to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole. This is episode 21, and we are talking about listener design questions. So, we've always been big sharers of information, life, business lessons, sources, advice. We don't care. We'll share it all. So,
one day, when we're tired of designing residential and commercial spaces, you'll probably find us on the speaking, coaching circuit or writing a book, because this is killing us.
Yeah. One day we're just going to say, we're tired. We're done. So we got such great feedback on our last listener call-in episode that we thought we'd do it again, and we'll probably make it a regular thing.
Yeah, people really like it. And the questions, generally, if they're asking this question, there's a lot of other people that have the same issues. So we hope we're helping some people out.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to start out with listening to the call-ins, and the first one is Lisa.
Hi, Kelly and Joanne. I've been decorating my downstairs kitchen and family area and have wanted to replace my light fixtures. I'm having a heck of a time trying to figure out what to do with one big room in different areas for light fixtures. What do you recommend?
I think that's a really good question because, at least in Atlanta and Georgia, we have so many open floor plans.
Mm-hmm. I think the trick is to use different kinds. So there's linear, whether you can either do that over an island or over a table, to mix in kind of the shape. So a linear shape, a round shape. And of course, as we always recommend, get rid of the boob flush mounts and just make those can lights, because you don't need fixtures all over the place. So just the mix of the shapes, really, so they don't all look the same.
So for example, we just did a house, and we did and it was tough because without even moving your feet, you could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could see about 8 different light fixtures. So we did 2 big pendants over the island that really were right next door to a linear lantern. And those were both in black. Oh, no, the pendants were in silver. The linear was in black wrought iron. And then in the family room, we did a huge chandelier that was casual. It was wood with wrought iron. And then in the upstairs hallway, I don't know if we did can lights or we did another flush mount, but that was really, really attractive.
But the thing is nice is if you're going to mix, wood and iron, that's one of my favorite choices. Of course, if you're going to do the metals, you can sometimes mix them. It depends on the situation. But not getting too different of a look. You don't want something that's real industrial looking and then put a real glammy chandelier. So keeping the style, even though they're in different rooms, but trying to keep the style the same.
And we, of course, buy direct from our beautiful manufacturers as much as we can, and their options are endless. But if you can't hire an interior designer, we've been using Lamps Plus as an amazing source, and Build.com is a great source.
What's nice is you can filter. So immediately go larger than you think you would want to. I'm actually on the hunt right now for outdoor lanterns for the outside of my house. We happened to stop at a big box store to pick up something. I'm like, let me just go look at their lights. I was horrified. No wonder when you drive by, everybody's are so little. They're all little.
Yeah.
You just can't get. So if you go on to Build.com or Lamps Plus, you can filter by, with size. So go big.
Yep. That's a good one. Okay. All right, who's up next? Danny. Let's see what he has.
Hey, this is Danny from Charleston, South Carolina. I'm just about to purchase a house with a galley kitchen. Do you have any tips on maximizing space?
All right, Danny.
That's tough.
The first question is, does it have popcorn ceilings? Because then the 2 strikes you're out. No. Galley kitchens are tricky. And, with any kind of space saving, with galley kitchens, you kind of have to go high.
Absolutely.
So use as much storage as you can up high, and then you're going to have a little, step stool or something, and make it be something kind of cool. That adds a design element. You can do like magnetic spice racks on the side of your fridge. Doing a small cart, that you want to maybe slide in for prep.
That's a good idea.
But one of the things that I've learned about galley kitchens is they can get hot really fast. So, we talked about range hoods being, a nice design element and stuff. But when you cook a lot, you can suck up a lot of heat and humidity. So make sure you get a very good venting hood in that area.
Yeah, that's a really good suggestion. This reminds me of when I was first getting into design, and Nate Berkus was working with Oprah, all the time on her show. And he first started out, he was all about the tiny spaces.
Yes.
And he would do these kind of makeovers on her show. And he showed a galley kitchen and taking it all the way to the tippy top. And it was so beautiful. It was amazing what he could have put in a small space.
Yeah.
But I think a cart that comes in and out, I think taking it to the ceiling, concentrating on your venting, keeping it light in color and feel, so you don't feel like you're in a dark alley would be smart. And lighting, of course. Light that sucker up so you don't feel like you're in a tunnel.
Yeah. Good luck with that, Danny.
All right, next up, Megan.
Hi, ladies. I have a quick question for you. I would love your input. So I work in the new construction, new home industry, and a question I get all the time from our buyers when we're at the design center is, where do I start? What is the biggest bang for my buck when working with a builder, and what should I leave to do after? What are your thoughts? In working with a new home builder, where should I really focus my buyer's attention when we're there? Should it be on cabinets? Should it be on flooring? Should it be on, we have a lot of fun tile and fun wallpaper and fun backsplashes. What do you recommend? Where should we start to use most of their allowance? Thanks so much.
That is an incredible question, because a lot of people struggle with this. And generally the allowances that you're given by the builder are not great. But if we haven't preached it in 80% of our shows, we'll preach it again. Lighting. Most homes that you go into, the builder is giving you the cheapest allowance that you can possibly get. So in the key spaces, basically your kitchen island, maybe your dining room, your family room, you're going to have to go over the allowance and put your money there. Flooring, you're not going to go rip that out. But a lot of times the builders don't have great options. Like if they have a very dated countertop, you don't want to go back and do that. So as neutral as you could possibly do, but I think going and wallpapering and going and doing a backsplash, something you can do yourself later. But I think lighting and flooring and maybe countertops is where you really need to make the most thoughtful decisions that will take you a while. Yeah,
and I think, we're working on $1 million new build in Kiowa in South Carolina. We're working on a new build in Marietta. And then, we have, for example, Lisa in our office, her young daughter just bought her first house, and they're working with the builder kind of on a smaller scale. And she's really struggling with where to put her money, just like Megan is asking. And when I built my house 2 years ago, what I did was I really wanted nice hardwood floors. I just didn't want to deal with it again later down the road. So I personally, and it's all personal, decided that I didn't want any carpet in my house except for the bedrooms. So a lot
of people are doing that.
Yeah, and that was an investment.
That's smart.
And we went over budget on that, but that was worth it to us. And then lighting was, of course, a big deal for me. And in some instances where the builder could not help me out, I just said, you know what, cap that outlet, give me a credit, and I'll deal with it on my own. Because they sent me to a design center with 5,000 catalogs, and I was like, oh my God, I'm too overwhelmed. I need to just do this on my own.
And that is it. You reach overwhelm, and then what starts to happen is, I have to select that. So you kind of make these real quick decisions. So if you can't really decide and you're not really liking what options you have for that price, like Kelly said, if you can cap it off and then wait till you can do it, because just filling it up with all the boob lights, you're not going to be happy.
Yeah. So the other thing that I did was, and don't be afraid when you're at the design center or when you're working with your builder to say, well, hopefully you have a good design consultant with the builder. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. But for example, when I was doing my bathrooms, and I'm doing this for the lake house too, trying to do a high-low. So like in my bathroom, I really wanted the marble penny tile. I love penny tile. And the marble white and gray was kind of a little pricey because it was a big shower. So then I just did this really simple tile. It's rectangular. It's a...
the wall tile?
Yeah, the wall tile is like a 24 by 24 maybe. And but it was interesting, and we put it horizontal instead of vertical, which made it a little even more interesting. And that one was really inexpensive. So don't be afraid to say, okay, I'm totally in love with this, but can we use it in a small area? And how could I make up that overage using maybe a subway tile or a simple stone that's still pretty, or change the grout color to funk it up? Don't be afraid to ask how to use that budget. But I'd say lighting, number one, which is always the end. Let me just say that's always the last thing that people put their money into. So that's a little reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a good question. All right. Yep. So now we're going to hear from Jennifer.
Hi, Joanne and Kelly. This is Jennifer from Georgia. I love your podcast, and even got my husband to start listening, and we love it. I do have a question for you about moving into a brand new house. We have worked with the builder's designer and picking out hard surfaces, carpet, tile, all that kind of good stuff. But what do you do when you're moving in and need all the stuff like rugs and lamps and towels, and you need that stuff right away, and you don't want to just run to Lowe's or something and pick out whatever they have? You want to be thoughtful about it. I mean, any strategies for moving into a new house? We'd sure appreciate it. Thanks.
My first one would be this, and we tell people this even if it's not a brand new home, is to take one room at a time and do it from start to finish. Mm-hmm. If you start to sprinkle a few things here and there, you're not going to really feel like you've done much. Now, for example, if you have a guest, bathroom and you have people coming to visit, towels are not a big deal. But don't run out and try to furnish every single room, even if you're not using them, because you're going to feel good for that little bit because it's done. But as time goes on, you're going to be like, did I really want that rug? It's not really what I wanted. So try to have the patience to wait and put in there only what you really love, because I'm sure you've had to downsize a little bit and get rid of a lot of things. So think about like what Kelly does. Watch very carefully what comes through that door. Mm-hmm. And if you love it, let it come in. If it's only so-so and you're just buying it because it was on sale, don't do it.
And I'll give you a little bit of advice because from Miss Anal here. When I downsized 2.5 years ago, and I'm doing the exact same thing for this lake house that my husband and I are fixing up, what I did was I drew out on simple graph paper every room. And then I went through my house and I took pictures of everything that I wanted to keep. And I had a lot of purging to do. And I measured everything. And then I kind of had all the photographs on my laptop. And I did a little keynote. You could do a PowerPoint. You could draw it on paper, however you want. And I kind of put the pieces on the graph paper. So I knew how the room was going to look, but visually I did it for myself on a PowerPoint so that I could be like, okay,
where do I need to fill in?
I've got that table. Okay, I've got that bed. I've got, that artworks. And it's like just a puzzle. And then I could see where the holes were. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, I need one lamp there. And it was a great visual for me to be organized. Like, I know I have a queen bed. Okay, if I'm around Home Goods and I see a great awesome coverlet that I love, I'll just go ahead and get it because I know in that room I need a coverlet. So that really helped me just visually and organization-wise. And then what I did was when we were moving in, I had that drawing taped to the wall for the movers. So they knew what was going
fancy?
Where. Well, it was really just, it helped everybody because there was a lot to do. So, but yeah, for all the little stuff, I think Joanne has a good point. Don't try and do it all at once. Get those key spaces down. The other thing that I did was I had a staging room. So this could be a closet, this could be your garage, this could be a room that you clear out. And everything that I bought for the upcoming move, I dumped in that room and labeled it. So that kind of took a little bit of the overwhelm off as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just take your time and just love what you're putting in there.
Yeah, don't rush on anything. It's not worth it.
Okay, up next, Renita.
Hi, this is Renita from Woodstock, and my question for you today involves an update I'm considering in my home. I've got one wall that I would really like to make an accent on, and I'm wondering if wallpaper is coming back into vogue.
Renita, you have not been listening to our podcast. If you've been listening, you know we love lighting and we love wallpaper. Wallpaper is so in.
Yep.
And I'm used to not be a fan of the one wall thing.
I'm kind of still not.
But it just depends. If it's in a bedroom, the back wall of a bedroom, that looks really nice. I'm not sure what room you're thinking about, but wallpaper is very, very much in, and it just depends. You can do a grass cloth.
Yep.
You can do a more subtle tone on tone. I wouldn't do anything really flowery or really, with a bold pattern.
Well, you did did you do it or did I do it in the Chicago condo that we did that
we did it in both of her bedrooms,
and that was pretty dynamic. Mm-hmm. But we were struggling because there wasn't any real architectural beauty in the room, so we leaned on that. I personally do not like accent walls and paint. I don't know why. It reminds me of a cheap hotel. I just don't like it at all. Wallpaper is a whole nother story. Mm-hmm. I think doing a grass cloth just so you get that texture in there mm-hmm. is a great idea. If you're lacking kind of some zhuzh in the room because of architectural areas or items, or it's just a blah space, then I think wallpaper could be awesome in a pattern or whatever, but then you just have to be careful with your art so that you kind of balance it out.
Yeah, but do it.
Do it. Wallpaper, love it. Call us for some good ideas. All right, who's up?
Joan.
Hey, Kelly and Joanne. I'm selecting materials for a great room that includes the areas of a family room, kitchen, and dining area. How do you successfully mix metal finishes for hardware, light fixtures, the plumbing fixtures, as well as stainless steel appliances?
That's kind of like Lisa's question, but even better because, and we're struggling with this in the Kiowa house
right now. Mm-hmm. It's tricky. The plumbing area has not come as far with kind of the brass. So
lighting and hardware.
As lighting and hardware have. So as far as being able to mix, I would not give my stainless steel appliances a second thought.
Yeah.
You don't have to
let
those
just
match.
blend in.
You don't really have to match those. Mm-hmm. But it just depends. If you want, I have seen many times where the faucet is a different finish than the lighting and the hardware. They just have to have the same kind of feel. And so I don't think I would even advise you to get a brush nickel faucet, a brush nickel pendant, a brush nickel hardware.
Well, you probably won't find it exactly what you want.
Yeah, so mixing it up is really okay.
Well, I mean, we're working, like I said, on this Kiowa house, and I'm just getting paralyzed, like trying to make it all flow. And this must be where the mixed metal trend has come in because everybody's struggling with it. But I just gotta, relax a little bit because, and what we ended up doing was we're gonna do a burnished brass kitchen faucet because she really wanted that. Wow, the hardware will probably do brass or black. The pendants, I think we're going to get away with the brass because that's a little bit easier. But then there's a prep sink, and then there's a bar, and then there's a laundry room adjacent. And the manufacturers that sell the burnished brass, which she's so in love with, don't always sell like a suite. They don't sell necessarily the little baby prep faucet or the bar faucet or the big, huge one that she wants for the laundry. So I have to mix.
To me, the one finish that will work with anything is the black. I mean, if you're worried, let's just say maybe if it's not a new build, but if you already have a stainless steel faucet and your hardware is and you just don't want to do silver again. I mean, black.
And I love that matte black.
I love that matte black.
But this is what I'm finding in my lake house. I wanted to do the black in one of the bathrooms, but then I couldn't get like all the shower components that I like to be in black too.
So it's okay.
I'm just doing those in stainless.
You can go stainless or brass.
Yeah.
So I think the black makes it safe.
Yeah. So I guess what I would say to really answer that question a little bit better is watch your shines. So for example, I would not be mixing chrome with burnish or brush nickel. you know, side by side. That just so make sure everything's kind of in that same finish, and then if you change colors, then I think it's totally fine. You know. So, but it's a struggle that everybody's having, obviously, as we're getting these questions. So we also had a question. I'm going to sneak it in real quickly from a woman, and I love this question, and I'm pulling it up on my phone, so give me a quick second. All right. This is her question. From devoted fan Catherine. What educational resources do you suggest for those of us who are deeply design curious, who find an interest that goes beyond reading shelter magazines and blogs and tuning into television shows, but who are not necessarily pursuing a career in the field? Are there some accessible intro survey classes you recommend, a way to learn the basics, techniques, terminology, history, etc.?
I don't know that there is a class. There's like continuing education that they have. When I was younger and, you know, kind of interested in this, I would do a couple of those. What might be a great idea, Catherine, would be to go along on an install or intern with a design firm, you know, just to have them be on call for when they might need you. Yeah. And then, you know, being able to see how those people work would be one way, because I'm not sure.
I mean, the other thing, I mean, there's a few books that we've read that have been more of a teaching kind. Like Vern Yip's is really good. What's the name of it? It's his latest book. Okay, just look up Vern Yip's latest book. But he does a lot of more of a teaching style. Yes. And that book you gave me for Christmas that was so colorful.
Mari Robison?
Yes.
It was all about, actually she wrote the book for her daughters to give them an idea of the things they needed to do, like what to do with your house seasonally, and just tips for enriching your life within your home.
Marie Robison. And then I just bought a new one called Remodelista. It's on my coffee table. I haven't even read it yet, but that was cool ideas for organizing and remodeling. But there's so many good, like really good books out there. That would be but I think interning is a great idea.
If you really want the hands-on kind of thing.
If you had a university near you that would let you audit classes, like my mom loves to audit classes in her local university, that might be an idea. But it's a really good question. I would also lean on blogs. There's a lot of blogs that are more educational in nature that, you know, we've talked about several of them on the show. And
Carla Aston.
Laurel Byrne. Toby Fairley's is great.
Hadley Court. And
ours.
They just give a lot of step-by-step and great tips.
Yeah. So, but that's a really good question, because I think a lot of people are kind of designer wannabes, but like in a serious way. Like they're really, really interested, but they have another career.
Yeah.
So, well, that was awesome. I just love helping people out and giving some...
Keep them coming.
Because no matter if you're high end or low end, everybody's struggling with these exact questions.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Okay, so it's your turn for the inspirational quote.
Okay. This quote is in honor of Kate Spade, who passed away yesterday, and I've just been devastated.
We're 2 weeks. We're 2 weeks behind.
Oh, we are. Yes.
So you're going to hear this 2 weeks after this happened.
Okay. So from our recording, it's and I just have been overwhelmed the last 24 hours with her passing, and I just think it's catastrophic in our industry and in the world. She was a shining star. So this is a quote from Kate. In order to lead a fascinating life, one brimming with art, music, intrigue, and romance, you must surround yourself with precisely those things.
It's very true.
Yeah, live a beautiful life.
The arts. Yeah, I try to take my granddaughter to art museums and try to expose her to that, because they don't really do a lot of that in schools. So you'll hear about, designers that, used to traipse around with their grandparents to, all these places, and it really affected, what they ended up doing in their lives.
Yeah,
so.
for sure.
All right. So
make us laugh, because I'm still sad about Kate.
I know. I feel like my funny quotes, just relate to me. So so if you're in the 40 to 60 age group and you're a female, you will find this funny. Everybody else would be like,
you can hang up now. Yeah.
Okay. So just like the 7 dwarfs, this is the 7 stages of menopause.
You know that Russ is totally rolling his eyes right now. Like, I can't believe I produced this show.
Okay.
Listen, I'm still trying to get past the boob lights thing.
It's a fact of life, just like menopause.
Yep. Here we go. Here are the 7 stages of menopause: itchy, bitchy, sweaty, sleepy, bloated, forgetful, and psycho. Sleepy, bitchy. Yeah, they are all right on. Sweaty, yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So not the 7 dwarves, but a little bit grumpier. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We are so grateful that you were listening today. We are heading out in a few days to leave for Guatemala. And we will be building homes for, this time, a family of 12. I can't even believe it. And we are also going to do a shoe drive for all the kids in the village of Santa Maria de Jesus. And I think we're bringing about 500 pairs of shoes.
Yeah, we are.
So we are prepared. And it's because we've built lots of homes. Every summer we do this, but we haven't ever done the shoe drive. So this is a big endeavor. So
okay. So Lisa, Danny, Megan, Jennifer, Renita, Joan, and Catherine, thank you all for your questions. I hope we've helped you and probably some other listeners. And we hope you all have a good one.
Thanks.
Bye.
Join Joanne and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram at Kandrak Cole. And of course, you've got to visit them online at kandrak-cole.com for more information.